Welcome back to Heartwood Abyss. Today we're building a prehistoric forest, complete with towering redwood trees, and a creature that is far more dangerous than it first appears. The dinosaur is a model from rescale miniatures, while the redwood trees are ones I sculpted and 3D printed myself. The base for this project is made from 3 sheets of MDF glued together. That gave me enough thickness to carve into it with my rotary tool, creating some subtle elevation across the forest floor before moving on to the rest of the build. With the shape finished, I marked the position of each tree by putting a little paint on the wire and pressing it into the base. That left me with the exact spot to drill, making it much easier to position every tree. For the ground texture, I mixed together fine sand, coarse sand, plaster, wood glue and dark brown paint, before spreading it across the entire base. While everything was still wet, I planted the trees and started building up the forest floor with rocks, sticks and different types of flocking, locking everything together into the terrain as it dried. To add a little more life to the scene, I also used some beautiful 3D printed ferns from Zabavka workshop. If you'd like to use them in one of your own projects, I'll leave a link to them down in the description. After priming the entire diorama outside, I moved over to the airbrush. The trees received a mixture of burnt umber and orange brown, while the ground was sprayed with sand brown. Finally, all of the grass and ferns were given a coat of camouflage green to tie the whole scene together. Once the base colors were dry, I went back over the ground with a thin brown wash to add a little more color variation, before moving on to the final layer of vegetation. For the tree canopies, I used dry seafoam as the smaller branches, covering them in fast-drying PVA glue and fine green flocking. Once those were attached to the trees with superglue, I finished the forest floor with a few grass tufts, flower tufts, bushes and patches of fine moss. These smaller details don't stand out individually, but together they make the whole scene feel much more believable. The dinosaur already had a great design, but I wanted it to give it my own twist. I replaced its smaller front arms with large insect-like limbs, added another small pair behind them, and finished everything off with a cluster of tentacles beneath its body. At first glance, it might still look like a dinosaur, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The tribes called it the Garo. Few have ever survived its hunt. Not because it's faster, but because it knows exactly when to stop running. The chase is only meant to tire its prey. Once exhaustion forces them into hiding, the Garou changes, The insect-like limbs that carry it through the forest become tools, allowing it to climb fallen trees and tear through dense undergrowth. Beneath its body, dozens of sensory tendrils brush across the earth, feeling every root, every stone, every vibration. It isn't looking for movement, it's waiting for the moment its prey believes it's safe enough to breathe again.